What's going on, everyone? Welcome back to Post-Match Thoughts with Omer. How are we doing, everyone? Millwall win 1-0 away from home at Huddersfield. What a relief. I think that's our second win in 16 league games. And I tell you what, that was a much-needed away, ugly win on the road. And what can I say more about that? I mean, from start to finish, I think it was a controlled performance from Millwall. We have to just say the caveat right now. I personally think Huddersfield were really poor today. I think they've had some injuries. I spoke to a Huddersfield fan doing something for their site earlier in the week, and he said, look, we've got injuries. I went, well, you're coming against a Millwall side that's out of form, and confidence just isn't there for us at the moment. And I think we saw more of that today. However, the changes made by Rowett, which we'll get onto in a second, I think they proved, kind of effective. And I think if you look at the team, a couple of, risky choices in there, you could say, but it worked. And a 1-0 win against a side that, I thought personally we might have got beat again today. I was kind of hoping for maybe a score draw. But, classic Millwall, backs against the wall. We turn up and we managed to win and keep a clean sheet too. I mean, Bart was tested once or twice in the game. Obviously, they had a penalty as well. But I thought overall it was a good win. I mean, let's get into the team that Gary Rowett chose. I think, what was interesting to see when the team lineup was announced, obviously Millwall kind of released their tweet online and they kind of put the whole squad on there based on their squad numbers. So at the top will be, they put Bielkowski actually, sorry, but then at the bottom will be Matt Namara, he's number 23. So you read through it and you're like, what is the side that he's picked today? But what we actually did was we went for the 5 at the back, something I'm kind of used to seeing, obviously, with Gary Rowett. We've gone Bielkowski in goal, back 3. On the left side, I'll start this time. I normally start on the right. But on the left was Jake Cooper, left centre half. Centre half in the middle, Sean Hutchinson. And then right centre back, Ryan Leonard. Yeah, I know. Surprised as everyone else. I think, before the game, we saw the lineup, which I'll get onto in a second, obviously, to complete it quickly. Matt Lamar, right wing back. Left wing back was Scott Malone. Midfield pairing, well, at the time I thought it would be the case, but it was a midfield 3 of Ben Thompson on the left side of it. No, Ben Thompson on the right-hand side of the midfield in the midfield 3. Then you had Sean Williams on the left side and Ryan Wood sitting. And then further up the field, 2 strikers, Jed Wallace and John Daddy Bodvarsson. So, yeah, changes coming into the game. Bodvarsson came in, Thompson came in, and obviously a little change at the back. Sean Williams then came into the middle with Ryan Leonard stepping into right centre-back, who I'll get out of the way now, was my man of the match. Didn't do a lot. Let's put it that way. I think, across the team today, we wasn't impressive. No one grabbed the headlines for the right reasons, but that's kind of equally as important because no one grabbed the headlines for the wrong reasons. We've done our job today. From the lineup itself, it was a bit of a risk playing Leonard right centre back, but I thought what you saw there was he's a bit more composed on the ball. And I feel like with Alex Pearce not being there, we didn't look as fragile at the back. Obviously, Pearce was kind of scapegoated by myself on Saturday, and I think rightly so. You saw he was a yard off the pace. The Championship is just too much for him now. I think it's fair to say that. He's kind of gone off the cliff downwards in his career, and I think, that's not to knock him. It's just obviously with age, it catches up with you in this league. I think, him stepping into right centre back allowed the likes of Hutchinson and Cooper just a bit more assured on the ball. Danny McNamara, right wing back, got to speak about him again. I really love the kid, honestly. He's come in, Millwall fan. You've seen it online, spoke about a lot. But he's just grabbed that shirt and made it look his own straight away. And I think, whilst we get on Romeo's back, if you looked at our squad at the start of the season, Romeo is a strong player for us. And I think for a player like Matt Namara to come in, a young player, only played in Scotland, obviously got the plaudits. I think he had a spell at Newport a couple of years ago and Dover before that, but he's come in, grabbed that shirt and said, you know what, I'm the right back for Millwall now. And I think, he's superb on the ball. If he got booked late in the second half, but aside from that, he then afterwards still done the same thing, took the ball with his feet, ran out with it, put a bit of, assurance in the back line. And I think that's important to have. We'll talk about the goal. We went up, I think, was it 3 minutes in? It was actually Danny McNamara with the assist, but this time on the left-hand side after a set play. He picks the ball up on the left-hand side of the pitch, puts the ball into the back post. Scott Malone, of all people, tucks it away. A great finish. I think it was in off the far post across the keeper to make it 1-0. We deserved it because I think at the start of the game, we had 2 or 3 corners in quick succession, was knocking on the door straight away, kind of said to Huddersfield, we're going to play the game today in front of you. You're not going to play in front of us and try to, cause any trouble in our defence. We're going to cause trouble for you. We didn't really create too much. I think, for the rest of that half, there was a couple of opportunities where, Ben Thompson picked up the ball in pockets of space. What was impressive with Thompson today was when we didn't have the ball, obviously he fell into that 3-man midfield. But then you notice he'd kind of run in and take this pocket of space on the right-hand side. Or sometimes Wallace would then come out wide and then Thompson would drive into that space. And I think it caused Huddersfield problems. I think, let's be fair. Like I said, Huddersfield weren't great. And I want to make that a clear caveat because, we got a cup game Saturday. But if we came against, a Bournemouth today, or in Norwich today, would we have still had the same kind of performance we got today? I don't really know. I think, if I had to do player ratings today, it'd be 6 out of 10 across the pitch, apart from Scott Malone with a 7 for scoring the goal, Danny Manoa with a 7 scoring for the goal, and then also assisting the goal. And then it would be, maybe an 8 for Leonard, because playing an unnatural position, but he was my key player today. But the rest of the team, no one done anything wrong. It was just assured. I think obviously we'll talk about the penalty in the first half. Ben Thompson gave it away. I think these days in football, they get given. I think it was a neat play down left-hand side with Toffolo. I think he gets in. I don't know who he fouled on the top of my head, but he put his hand on the back of the defender or the attacker running forward, and he just hits the deck like a sack of potatoes. Went straight down, and unfortunately for us, the penalty was given. Fraser Campbell, ex-Man United Hall of Fame youth player, steps up and he drives it to the left-hand side of the keeper, or the keeper's right, left-hand side of the goal, and thankfully smashes the crossbar, and it went out of play. I think if it was an inch lower, it would have been a great penalty from him. So you can't really, it's one of those ones where the rubber of the green went our way. Let's talk about the conditions, though. I mean, cool. Like I said, when we won ugly today, the pitch itself was ugly as well. I think it's raining quite bad up there. Obviously, we've got the kind of storm, Christopher, apparently coming into the country. But, I think it played its role a little bit. But I think with Huddersfield, it was lack of urgency. And I think I've got to give Mickey credit, obviously my co-host with the podcast. We'll talk about it in the pod that we're going to record this evening to go out tomorrow morning as well. But he spotted it in the warm-up. They looked lethargic. They looked tired. And I think, with the kind of similar play that Bielsa has, this is his old assistant manager, Cordoba, sorry. And, I think you could see that they were lethargic, didn't really have a lot of energy about them, and maybe they're suffering a burnout. They've got a few injuries, a few players missing. But yeah, I mean, aside from that, like I said, I think Danny Ward tested the keeper, Bielkowski, about 32 minutes in. I made some notes. I'm trying to flick through it. I don't think there was much else really to talk about here. I mean, I just thought overall we took advantage of a poor Huddersfield. Second half, we had a couple of chances. We had a ball in the back of the net. Ryan Leonard with I think it was a rebound from a corner, sorry. Wallace whips it in. I think Malone gets on the end of it, has a shot. In the meantime, I think Cooper's squabbling with their goalkeeper, Schofield, and they're both on the floor. And I think what looks to have happened, I don't really think it was a foul, but I can see why the referee's given it. The keeper's tried to get up, and by the looks of it, maybe caught by Cooper, but I don't think it was intentional from Cooper. Leonard, fair play to him, sticks it in the back of the net. That would have been a goal to cap off his performance, but it was disallowed. And then, yeah, the game kind of edged out into nothingness. And I think the last 15 minutes, I was thinking, what's going to happen here? Like, Huddersfield started to ramp the pressure up, made 2 or 3 substitutions, a couple of wingers on the pitch. I was kind of thinking, what's going to happen here? But fair play to Gary Rowett. In the 75th minute here, 4 substitutions at once. McNamara off, Williams off, Wallace off, and Bodvarsson off. And then on came Romeo, Bradshaw, Ferguson, and Sahor. I mean, a bit unheard of with Rowett, I think, We give him credit for chasing games sometimes. We speak about the Charlton game where he brought on Smith 5 minutes to go in the early spells of his tenure. But normally I feel like when we're defending the lead and we're winning the game, he doesn't really make changes. But he made 4 changes on the spot there, brought off 4 players. McNamara was on a booking. I think, you looked at it and thought Williams obviously was tiring. Wallace up front ran his heart out up front. Didn't really perform well today, but didn't perform bad. And he obviously put a shift in up there. And then he brought on a couple of players that, just saw the game out. Ken Sahor with the ball at his feet. No one's going to get the ball off him. And you kind of saw that. There was a couple of opportunities where I thought he could have released it a bit sooner and maybe let Bradshaw go in for a counter-attacking goal. But, end of the day, we won. And I think, I'm looking through the statistics. There's nothing really kind of worrying there. I think the problem we had was, often against sides where we expect to keep the ball. Today, I think we had 35% average possession throughout the whole game. We kind of let Huddersfield just play it, pass it around the back. They had Richard Keogh playing centre half. I think it was his debut today. And it was just a classic Richard Keogh. I think he probably touched the ball 100 times, playing it sideways and backwards the whole game. And I think, he gets a lot of credit for that. But personally, I don't really see it myself. But that's it. I've kind of been excited and rambled on. I didn't think I'd really talk much about a boring 1-0 away win, but I'm buzzing. I think I'm really happy. I want to know what you guys think. If you've enjoyed the video, be sure to like it, subscribe if you're new, comment below your thoughts on the game. We were superb. I have to say it, because we won ugly, and I think sometimes you need to do that performance and kind of show you can do that and control the game. Huddersfield weren't great, but we took advantage of that, won the game 1-0, saw it out, and happy days. Roll on Bristol City on Saturday. We'll be back, like I said, tomorrow with a podcast, little bonus one for you guys, and then we'll have Friday Night Live. We'll be back with that, and obviously on to Saturday against Bristol City. Thanks for watching as always, guys. Take it easy, and I'll see you soon. Come on, Millwall!